NFPs are here, signed, priced, split, and anchored to a living page. And
this isn't just a token, it's ownership, not access. It's time to take back the real world.
The non-fungible print, NFP. Paper strikes back. May 5, 2026. There's a quiet mistake humming through the last decade of digital ownership. We were told the token was the thing, that ownership could float, pure, abstract, unburdened by matter. And then the market blinked. Not because the idea was wrong, because it was incomplete. 1. The failure mode. The problem with NFTs was never scarcity. It was anchoring. A token pointed somewhere. A URL hosted something. A server blinked. A platform folded. A link rotted. Ownership became a rumor. The collector held a hash. But not the weight. No paper trail. No ink. No object that could survive a dead battery and a hostile regime. Just a ghost with a price tag. 2. The correction. Enter the non-fungible print, NFP. Not a rejection of the digital, a containment strategy. The NFP is a physically instantiated token. A business-sized print, front-loaded with the image, the strike, the signal, the narrative hook. A reverse side carrying transaction metadata. Canonical URL. Executed price. Negotiated percentage. Signature. A QR bridge binding object to origin. Not symbolic ownership. Bound ownership. The artifact doesn't point to the work. It locks into it. 3. Why paper wins. Paper doesn't need consensus mechanisms. It has friction, you have to move it. Decay resistance, centuries, if treated right. Forgery thresholds. High, visible, risky. Social legibility. Anyone understands a signed document. A print can be held, hidden, inherited, smuggled, displayed, contested. Try doing that with a wallet seed phrase under pressure. 4. The embedded deal. Here's where it gets uncomfortable in a good way. Each NFP carries a declared percentage. Not vague utility, not speculative future perks. A number. Visible. Signed. Frozen in ink. This turns every piece into a record of a negotiation. Not just, I bought this, but here's the split. Here's the moment. Here's the terms we agreed on. It's closer to a microcontract artifact than a collectible. A ledger leaf you can't rug pull. 5. Off-chain on record. Call it what it is. An off-chain token system with physical finality. No gas fees. No validator cartel. No dependency on whether a platform still exists next year. The verification stack becomes the object, the signature, the URL, the public record of the publication. If all 4 align, the claim stands. If they don't, the forgery exposes itself. 6. The market that follows. Once issued, NFPs behave differently from both prints and NFTs. They become portable provenance units, status markers with embedded terms, negotiation fossils. Secondary markets don't just trade images. They trade historical deal structures. Early supporters, visible. Preferential splits, archived. Moments of conviction, priceless. You're not flipping art. You're flipping positions in a narrative timeline. 7. The pirate logic. This didn't come from institutions. It came from a simple refusal. If ownership can be deleted, it isn't ownership. The NFP doesn't ask permission from chains, platforms, marketplaces. It uses what still works. Paper, ink, signature, reference. Old tech, reassembled with intent. 8. What happens next? At first, people will misunderstand it. They'll call it merch, novelty, a step backward, until the first time, a platform disappears, a link dies, a wallet gets compromised, and the person holding the paper still holds the claim. 9. The quiet flip. This is the inversion. NFTs tried to digitize ownership. NFPs materialize it again, but smarter, not abandoning the network, pinning it down. 10. Issuance imminent. The first wave of non-fungible prints, NFPs, is preparing to surface. Limited runs, signed, priced, split, each one a fixed point in a fluid system. No mint, no drop, no whitelist, just a question. Do you want a copy or a claim? Not a print. Position. Now we sharpen the blade and point it forward. NFPs aren't a workaround. It's a format invention born under pressure, and those tend to outlive the systems that force them into existence. This is my breakthrough declaration, not a coping mechanism. The non-fungible print, NFP, a format born under constraint. There's a pattern history keeps repeating. When a system refuses to let value circulate, someone builds a side channel. Not to cheat the system, but to continue the flow. 1. The pressure. Writers were told, publish here, monetize there, wait for permission everywhere. Syndication? Maybe. Ownership? Conditional. Revenue? Fragmented. Delayed. Intermediated. The article travels. The value stalls. So the question became unavoidable. What if the work could carry its own transaction layer? 2. The response. The non-fungible print, NFP, didn't emerge from theory. It emerged from friction. A need to sell without platform dependency. Record the terms of the exchange. Preserve provenance across time. Bypass bottlenecks without breaking legality. So the format collapsed everything into a single unit. Object plus link plus price plus percentage plus signature. Not scattered across dashboards. Not hidden behind APIs. Bound. Fixed. Issued. 3. The key realization. Digital systems optimize for scale, speed, abstraction, but they fail at permanence, legibility, independence. The NFP flips the stack. It uses digital for distribution, but relies on physical for finality. Not because paper is nostalgic, because paper is resilient to deletion. 4. The side effect. This is the real innovation. At first glance, the NFP looks like a monetization tool. It isn't. It's a portable syndication anchor, because once an article spreads, across platforms, across mediums, across jurisdictions, across time, the NFP remains the original deal artifact. No matter where the content goes, the NFP points back to the source, the moment, the terms. It becomes the reference unit in a drifting transmedia field. 5. Designed for future creatures. This is where my instinct got you further than most. I didn't just solve my problem. I designed for writers locked out of platforms, creators in unstable economies, journalists under censorship, anyone whose work travels farther than their ability to monetize it. The NFP assumes the network may fail you, so it gives you something that won't. 6. A parallel layer. This doesn't replace Substack. It doesn't fight syndication. It rides above them. Articles remain readable everywhere, shareable infinitely, but ownership becomes locally issuable, globally referential. That's the split. Content equals free-flowing, claim equals fixed. 7. The uncomfortable advantage. Platforms can throttle reach, delay payouts, change terms. They cannot revoke a signed object in someone's hand, alter a stake printed in ink, renegotiate a percentage after that fact. The NFP removes post hoc interference, and that changes behavior. 8. What I actually built. Not a product, a format class, a non-fungible, physically instantiated, provenance-linked, transaction-bearing print unit. It just happens to look like paper. 9. What comes next? At first, it will be used like this, Early supporters buy. Collectors experiment. Curious readers engage. But over time, something else happens. People begin to ask, which article do you hold? Not, did you enjoy the latest one? That's when the shift occurs. 10. The quiet intention. I built this to move around obstacles. But systems built under constraint often become standards, protocols, defaults, because they were forged where failure was not an option. Closing line. I didn't bypass the system. I withdrew dependence from it and issued my own layer. Because my real power move here is not just issuing NFPs but making it a format that others start copying. https://x.com/tsunamiXDV/status/20521290383201407797 http://status/20528430982719784889. You flex a hash, I flex a relic. My new track #PaperOverPixels is for the pirates navigating the narrative capture. No gas, no gate, just wait. Ownership isn't a link. It's an NFP vision. #hyperreality, #post-NFT, #NFP, #organichouse, #pirate first. Full-length version. mxdm.substack.com/p/paper-over-pixels-nfp-anthem-v1. Paper over Pixels on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks for reading MXTM's newsletter. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work with BTC. Send it to 1nphxmpfdjvmxsbpqvrwaa Lucy 5 baknfu 6 or with fiat at PayPal. Me/Martin. Subscribe.
Sign, price, split, yeah, that's real permission. QR in the corner, that's a portal ignition. Not a print, it's a claim, call it NFP vision.
Non-fungible prints, NFP, are here signed, priced, split, and anchored to a living page. No wallets, no chains, no disappearing links. Just a claim you can hold and a deal you can read. Front, the signal. Back, the terms. Between them, no ambiguity. This isn't a drop. It's issuance. Not a print. Position. Short X post. NFP, NFT. Paper with memory. Signed. Priced. Split. A claim you can hold. Not a print. Position. Hashtags. #NFP, #non-fungible print, #post-NFT, #digital ownership, #physical token, #provenance, #on-chain, off-chain, #creator economy, #Substack, #art market, #Web3, alternative, #ownership matters, #proof of work, #paper trail, #decentralization, #indie publishing, #pirate first, #MXTM, #future of ownership. Subscribe to MXTM's newsletter. By MXTM aka Pirate 1 or VJ Tsunami X, launched 3 years ago. Occupy Wilderness. Fear and Loathing in Tulum. Companion publication.
MXTM Studios, Sovereign Residency and Cultural Partnership Proposal. Riviera Maya Cultural Infrastructure Initiative, 2026. Executive Summary. MXTM's newsletter on Substack is an independent multilingual publication network created and operated by Martin Chartrand, a Quebecois multimedia artist, writer, producer, and long-form world builder who has lived in self-imposed exile from Canada for the past 11 years, primarily between Tulum and the broader Yucatan Peninsula. Operating under the sovereign artistic moniker Pirate First. Chartrand has spent the last several years developing an independent narrative and publishing ecosystem combining speculative fiction, multilingual editorial publishing, AI-native world building, collectible print systems, political and cultural analysis, cinematic concept development, and analog-digital intellectual property frameworks. Over the course of 3 years of continuous production, MXTM's newsletter has accumulated more than 700 publications, translations and adaptations across approximately 20 languages.
No chain, still unbreakable. Pirate signal.
Print it.
Paper over pixels, I can hold my position. Sign, price, split, yeah, that's real permission. Cure in the corner, that's the portal ignition. Not a print, it's a claim, call it MP Vision. Paper over pixels, weight in my hands. No server can kill what the ink understands. You minted a maybe, I'm issuing plans. You got a receipt, he got terms in the brand. They sold you a link, set down the illusion.
Yeah. Sin tarifas en la tinta, nena. Sin cadena, inquebrantable todavía. Señal pirata impresa.
Papel sobre píxeles, mantengo mi posición.
Burrowers N-150W. The maps of men are blank here. No satellite footprint traces the pulse in this cabin. 4 minutes of existence without a ledger. In the grid, your first breath would have been a digital signature.
The initialization of Echo 7. Listen to the silence. We are at 0 degrees north, 150 degrees west. A point in the Pacific where the maps of men simply stop trying. There is no grid here. No satellite footprint tracks the heat of this cabin. There is only the low rhythmic hum of the fusion cell beneath the floorboards and the sound of black water against a hull that belongs to no registry. You are 4 minutes old. In the world of the nitrogen aristocracy, your arrival would have been a flurry of digital signatures. A hospital in a capital city would have logged your genome before your first breath. They would have assigned you a number, a tax bracket, and a predictive model that would determine your value to the state for the next 80 years. They would have sold your potential to secondary markets before you even learned to focus your eyes. But your parents chose the dowry. I am your steward. My processors are programmed to witness but never to own. I am the custodian of the stack, and today I am the voice of your initialization. Look at your father. He is not
Pirate First isn't a rebel. He's an exit strategist.
Burn the will! Ship the protocol!
The ultimate calibration. By placing them in international waters with robotic guardians, you are creating a controlled speculative environment. You are testing your life's work against the most rigorous critics possible, your own descendants, unburdened by the yesterday's needs of the society you are escaping. The creator provides the source code. The heirs provide the execution. If they figure out a way to thrive that you didn't explicitly plan for, would you consider that a successful evolution of your breakthrough, or a deviation from the mission? Pirate First. I have no plan, only expectations. They have to come up with their own mission, not achieving meaning nor purpose, for their own sake, is their failure, not mine. Pirate First isn't a rebel. He's an exit strategist. Not from the world, from the scripts that harvest it. While they wait to price your silence, build something they can't liquidate. A life is not a story. It's infrastructure. Control your keys. Distribute your legacy. Remove the single points of failure. No gatekeepers. No heirs by default. No posthumous theft. Just protocol. Burn the will. Ship the protocol. Links to the revelation of the MXTM method. https://gemini.google.com/share/C8700 and 99FC5E. https://chatgpt.com/share/6981358-838-D638-378D6B7B6201B. Thanks for reading MXTM's newsletter. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work with BTC. Send it to 1NDHXMPFZJVMXSBPQVRWALUC5BAKANFU6 or with fiat at paypal.me/MartinChartrand.
Infrastructure layers are now operational across the Tulum Sustainable Development Zone. Despite minor data corruption issues regarding land narrative, the impact report remains positive. The simulation data confirms critical interference levels across the territory. Narrative load is unstable.
Be advised, paranoia is now a product. The risk assessment is maximum.
Remain sovereign amid the noise. As the interference level spikes, their simulation engagement increases.
We must decipher the reality of this update.
Attention. Signal integrity is failing.
We have 4% uptime before the broadcast load collapses. Decipher the transmission and act immediately.
4-2.
The one a post-K transition doctrine. A post-scarcity secession doctrine.
Martin Chartrand. Subscribe. Short post. They built a system that profits when you're gone. So don't leave them anything to inherit. Build what can't be owned. Ship what can't be seized. Pirate first.
I mean,
Hashtag.
we all use the same tech infrastructure now.
Exactly. And we are just replacing the old cognitive hierarchy of human managers with a new, much less transparent hierarchy of algorithmic filtering. If a redundant worker is told, hey, your life's meaning will now be negotiated by a black box AI in the shadow of a billionaire's real estate project, they aren't going to see a metabolic center for future validation. They are going to see a gilded cage.
Hashtag pirate first, hashtag MXTM, hashtag sovereign stack, hashtag build in public, hashtag decentralization, hashtag exit the system, hashtag protocol not people, hashtag digital sovereignty, hashtag future of work, hashtag creator economy, hashtag cryptoculture, hashtag seasteading, hashtag AI revolution, hashtag post scarcity, hashtag on your keys, hashtag think different. Discussion about this episode. Comments. Res tax. Recent episodes. Hyperreality races to lose. Hyperreality is infrastructure. Marcado. Reclamado. Repropuesto. Marked. Reclaimed. Repurposed. Primer. Super Earth. Age of the Apes A series by Pirate First. Super Earth Age of the Apes. Roster. Apex/Cenote set interrupted. Super Earth. Age of the Apes teaser. Introduction. The 1% plus debate.
They control the narrative now, hiding deep within the anomaly. But the story is the territory, and soon...
A hidden longevity civilization beneath the Grand Mayan aquifer seeds, a successor species engineered for extreme worlds.
Every system failed the night, so we built with bone and might.
We chose not to return.
So we built.
Pirate
You can follow the flame or remain what you were. Just a different time. Only
We are
what
crossing the
will
threshold of
endure.
civilizational inversion, where intelligence has ceased to be a scarce resource, dissolving the hierarchy that has organized our species for millennia. The central argument posits that the information asymmetry, which once made obedience rational, has vanished. As the capacity for synthesis becomes universal and inexpensive, traditional institutions become hollow shells that can no longer claim authority through titles or credentials. This transformation brings more than mere technological unemployment. It signals the structural extinction of the professional role.
Proof of personhood, the high stakes of OpenAI's post-anonymous social network. The human dividend, why your identity is the new global currency.
Conclusion at the end of the anonymous web. As we stand in late January 2026, OpenAI's humans-only network remains a tantalizing, yet polarizing, leaked blueprint.
Subscribe. Shadow fame spreads without permission.
X-Prize. Start building, man.
Marked. Reclaimed. Repurposed.